know you've thought about it, but don't throw in the towel. Don't give up on yourself. It's too late in the hour. You gotta keep moving. You gotta keep.
Hello, my name is Nashona Manboard, and welcome again to my podcast, When Destiny Calls, and this is my second episode. I really hope that you've enjoyed my first episode. I hope that you've liked it, share, and also subscribe to my channel on it. So I just wanted to just come on here again and to encourage you on this word that God is giving me, and just to be able to share with you. So, and as I share with you, I hope that you will be able to share with somebody else. Again, my name is Nashona, and welcome to everyone. So today I wanted to share with you on your words are powerful. Your words are powerful, so you better watch your mouth. Let me just take that so it goes for me as well. Our words are powerful, so we better watch our mouth. And God has given me that topic just to share with you and to encourage you on this journey. So, as I said last week, I shared with you, I gave you some points, and this week I will be able to do the same. Before that, I wanted to just to bring you to, God brought me back to the book of Ezekiel. And for those who know the story of Ezekiel, God took him to a valley of dry bones. So for those who are on here and you're not familiarized with the Bible, that's okay. But I wanted just to make sure that you understand. So God took this man Ezekiel to a dry valley, and he only had bones which were dry. These bones were broken and just, they weren't together. And all Ezekiel was seeing was dry bones. And God said to him, "Son of man, do you think these dry bones can live?" And this is what God is saying concerning what you are going through today. God is saying, do you really think that your situation can get better? Do you think that it can get better? Do you think that you are able to speak a word into your life, over your life, and make your situation come to life? And this is what I wanted to challenge you on today. So God took him into the valley of the dry bones, and he said to Ezekiel, "Son of man, do you think that these dry bones can live?" And Ezekiel, I'm pretty sure when he looked around and seen all these dry bones and these bones, he's probably thought there's no way this is going to happen. And sometimes we are in our situation, our circumstances, and we think there's no way this is going to happen. There is no way I can come through this right. And this is what God is saying to us today. So what God did to Ezekiel in the valley of the dry bones, it didn't just say, I'm going to prophesy, I'm going to speak over it, and for the dry bones to come together. God gave him an instruction, and this is what God is doing to you today, for us today. He's giving us an instruction. And so God said to Ezekiel, "I want you to prophesy." Come on, somebody. If you just didn't hear that, you to speak over your life. For those who are not familiarized with the word prophesy, it means to speak positive words concerning your life, and to make sure that that situation, that weariness, that sadness, that dullness, those things that has been dried up in your life, I want you to be able to speak over that situation. And remember, the topic for today that I'm here to share with you is your words are powerful, so you better watch your mouth. Can I say that again? Your words are powerful, so you better watch your mouth. And this is what God said to Ezekiel. I want you to prophesy. I want you to speak those words over the dry bones. And this is what God is saying to us. I want you today to speak those words over the dry things in your life. You know, some things that's been dried up for so long, you've been waiting for God. Am I the only one here that's been waiting for God to do some things in my life? And God is saying, I want you to speak. I want you to command the things. And that's what God said to Ezekiel. And while he was prophesying, while he was speaking to the dry bones, guess what? The dry bones started to come alive. The bones were connected. And this is what happens when we speak speak positive words, when we declare, and when we just put in the atmosphere our words, because life and death is in the power of our tongue. And so whatever we speak out in the atmosphere, it must becomes a reality. And God is saying to you, I'm getting so excited for this, right? Because you know what, God is speaking to us today, and he's also speaking to me concerning a lot of things that are in my life as well, because we all have dry bones. We ain't gonna come on here thinking that we ain't got everything is going all right. We all have dry bones, and God is saying, I want you to prophesy. I want you to speak over those things that has been dried up for so long. And that's what God is saying to you today. I want you to be able to speak those words concerning your life to ensure and to make sure that these dry bones, those dry bones in your life, they come alive. They must come alive, but it takes something from you. It takes for you to speak something, to say something. Faith without works is dead. You can't just be, oh God, I believe. You can't just believe. You've got to speak the words. And so I wanted to share with you 5 simple steps why we don't realize that our words are powerful, and so we ought to watch our mouth. 5 simple steps why we should watch our mouth, because our words are powerful. So number 1 that I wanted to share with you today is your words are contagious. Our words are contagious. And what I mean by contagious is it can spread. Just like a flu. You know, somebody has a flu with you and you're all in together in the same place, in the same building. And before not long, you're starting to sneeze as well. It's contagious and it's spreading just like a virus. And your words are like viruses. And they can spread. So we have to be careful what we speak out in the atmosphere. We have to be careful what goes into another person's ear gate. Because just like a virus, it spreads. You just need to be in a room. You just need to be in a room and you can start sneeze. You can start coughing or anything that is spreading in that room. And so God is saying we have to watch our mouth because our words are contagious. Our words has the effect to spread just like a virus. So next time you're in a room and you ought to say something, next time you're in a room and the situation causes you to say something, make sure you watch your words. Make sure you are careful of what you speak out in the atmosphere because it becomes a reality. Our words are powerful. And it's contagious. So that's number 1 that I wanted to share with you. The second one I wanted to share with you is that your words have authority. Your words have so much authority. My words have so much authority. The Bible says we can speak the things as if it wasn't as if it was so. So the things that are not going right, the things that are causing you hurt, the things that are causing you grief, God is saying you need to speak those things as if it was so. You need to declare those things as if it was so. Your words as authority. Your words have authority, rather. You can speak into the atmosphere and allow it to become your reality. The reason why sometimes we don't progress or we don't move forward is because we don't realize, we don't recognize that our words carry authority. And whatsoever we command, because I shared with you last week, whatsoever we bind on earth is also bound in heaven. Whatsoever we loose on the earth is also loose in heaven. So our words have authority, but the problem is we fail to recognize that we have authority. And this is what I want to encourage you on today, is to speak those words as if it was so. You don't need to see it. In fact, we don't need to see it. We don't need to see anything, but we just need to speak it as if it was so, because our words have authority. Our words comes with authority, and sometimes we don't realize what we have. Our tongue is so powerful. And sometimes we just close our mouth up. I'm just holding out, not saying a word. But we don't realize that we have a tongue. We have the ability to speak and to shift and to change and to lift and to make sure that we elevate, because the devil wants you to shut your mouth. That's what he wants. He don't want you to speak because he recognizes that your words are powerful. But the thing is, we don't recognize that our words are powerful. But the devil recognizes that our words are powerful. And so what he does, he tries to make sure that we don't use our mouth. So I want to encourage somebody today, and I really hope this is helping you, that speak the things as if it was so. Come on, you don't need to see it. You just need to speak it. Speak it out in the atmosphere. And you don't keep on speaking it, because sometimes we speak it and, oh, I didn't see it, so I don't think that is working. I want you to carry on speaking the things. Speak it as if it was so. Speak it as if you can see it in front of you. And this is what God is challenging us to do in this hour. So our words have authority. That was the second one. The third one is your words defiles you. What do I mean by that? Your words defiles who you are. So sometimes we don't realize that our words, right, it's telling somebody else who we really are. And the Bible tells us that what comes out of a man's mouth defiles who they are. The Bible didn't say what goes into our mouth defiles who we are. It says what comes out of our mouth. So what is coming out of your mouth today? Remember, your words are powerful, so you got to watch your mouth. What is coming out of your mouth today? What words are you saying concerning your life? What are you speaking? Are you speaking negativity, or are you speaking something positive, something to elevate you? Look, I can't see it, but I know that it's going to happen. Sometimes we look in the mirror and we look at ourselves and we're like, we ain't beautiful. And God is saying, come on, if you keep saying that you're not beautiful, then eventually you ain't going to be beautiful, because you ain't going to do nothing to look beautiful. You ain't going to do nothing to help you to be beautiful, because you're speaking those words concerning you. And God is saying what comes out of our mouth defiles who we are. You know, some people out there, like, they're very angry and they're like, oh, it's because I was angry. And God is saying, we better watch what's coming out of our mouth, because our words defiles who you are. Whether we are in a state of being hungry or we are in a good mood, we have to watch our mouth, because it defiles us. What comes out of our mouth defiles who we are, not what goes out, what goes into our mouth, because that goes to our stomach and then it comes out of us. But what comes out of our mouth defiles who we are. So as we go through from our day to day, let us be encouraged to speak the things, positive words over our lives. Stop thinking negative, because if we're thinking negative, then everything around us is just going to be negative. And it doesn't matter how you're praying, because you're thinking negative. You're praying, but you're thinking negative. Oh, God, I want you to help me. I don't think God is going to help me. And this is what God is saying. What comes out of our mouth defiles who we are. So that was the third one. The fourth one that I wanted to share with you is that our words can cause hindrance to the unbelief. Do we really think that our words can cause an hindrance to the unbelief? People who don't know who God is. And God is saying, we have to watch our mouth. We have to be careful what we speak. Even simple things that we say, simple things that we do, it can cause an hindrance to the unbelief. Sometimes I remember last year, roughly around this time last year, my husband, he asked me to buy some oil for his van, and me just going to the cash point and thought to myself, okay, I'll just turn up to this shop and I'll just pay for it, because this is how much I think that it was going to be. It couldn't have been more than that price. So I turned up and I showed the guy what it is my husband asked me to get. Then he replied to me and he told me how much it was. To my surprise, it was about 3 times the amount that I had taken to the shop. And me now ringing my husband with my big mouth in the shop, right, thinking, I didn't know it was going to cost so much, and I'm going on, and the guy was listening to my conversation. But guess what? He probably had overheard me putting a statement or saying something that, oh, God is big, and oh, God is our provider. But yet still I'm in the shop talking about, oh, this is costing so much. And he'd probably be thinking, I thought you said your God was a provider. I thought you said that your God owns the earth. The cattle on the hills belongs to him. So why are you complaining? And even the very fact of that, well, I said, I didn't mean no harm by it, but God told me off for saying something like that. It's like, don't use your words to cause doubt to the unbelief, making them think that, oh, God doesn't exist, or oh, God is not wealthy. And this is just something simple, but for me, I had to act upon what God spoke to me. The very words that I speak out in public, it can cause a doubt to the unbelief. It can just make them question, what about this God that you've been bragging about? What about this God that we're singing all about? Oh, my father's a millionaire, I'm stepping on gold. And you're stepping on gold and talking about the price. And this is what God is saying to us. Or very words, even when we don't even think we are doing something like that, God is saying it can cause endurance to the unbelief. So next time, don't do like me. Next time, I've learned my lesson. I really have learned my lesson. Anytime I go into the shop and they say the price, honestly, I ain't opening my mouth. No. I'm just going to act upon my expression, but I ain't saying nothing at all because God has spoken to me. So that was the fourth one that I wanted to share with you. The fifth one that I wanted to say was that your words carries currency. Your words carry currency. So what I mean by your words carry currency, I love this one because God put it in a way to me that sometimes we want something in life. Sometimes we want to achieve something, or we think something looks good, and we're just in that place where we're a state of mind thinking, I can't afford it. That's the first thing that we say. I can't afford it. And God is saying, your words carry currency. Because if you keep on saying, I can't afford it, this is not for me, this is for those rich folks over there, God is saying you'll never afford anything. Because our words carries currency. Our words carries the similar to, I can afford it, from I can't afford something. So next time that you are put in a circumstances where you're thinking, really, have I got it? You ask God, how can I afford this, God? Because our words carry currency. Our words are so powerful that if we keep saying we can't afford this is not for me, this is too expensive, then it's definitely going to be expensive. And even though it was expensive, even though it is expensive, it becomes really expensive because we're just thinking that we can't afford it. Because we're speaking the words over our lives. It's nothing. We ain't going to afford nothing. Nothing that is nice. Because we keep saying we can't afford it. Oh, I can't afford that. I see this nice bag. Oh, I can't afford it. God is saying, just ask me, how can I afford? What gifts? What have I got inside of me? Remember what God says. He says, your gifts will bring you before great men. Your gifts will bring you before great men. Your gifts will make room for you. So instead of keep saying, I can't afford it, because our words are so powerful. And this is something I've learned a few years back. Instead of keep saying, I can't afford it, I can say, God, what can I do to afford this? And this is something that I've kind of put in place over my life. What can I do so that I can afford this? Because my words are powerful. And I don't want to be looking at the fine things in life thinking, I can't afford it. And how comes our father's a millionaire stepping on gold, and the cattle in the hills belongs to God? Everything he owns, the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, but everything we can't afford. And so we speak these words from day one. Day two, we keep saying that. A few months, we are saying the same thing. Before you know it, it is a pattern. And we just can't afford anything. And that's what God is saying. Instead of saying, I can't afford it, find a way, how can? Ask God, how can we afford it? How can we afford it? Remember, the Bible tells us in Deuteronomy, remember the Lord thy God. It is he that gives us the power to obtain wealth. It is God that gives us the knowledge. He gives us the power, the wisdom, and everything to obtain wealth. And I wanted to share with you this fifth one because God placed it on my heart. Our words carries currency. So next time you see something, you go into a shop, or you're thinking of having something, and you're just thinking, oh, sometimes, you know what, there, even you want to give a gift, or you want to sow a seed, and you just keep saying, I can't afford it. God is saying, ask yourself, how can I afford it? Ask God, how can I afford these things? And do not speak any negative words over your life, because the minute you start saying, I can't afford it, you will never afford anything. Believe you me. But I really hope that these 5 steps that I've given you has really encouraged you. I hope that it has encouraged or left an impact on somebody's life, and that your life will never be the same again. We are here to encourage each other on the journey, and I hope that as I share with you on this podcast, that I'm able to encourage you, I'm able to minister to you, I'm able to uplift you, I'm able to get you from a place of being broken to being full with the word of God. And so today, I just pray that, whatever it is that your heart's desire, remember Ezekiel, he spoke unto the dry bones, and the dry bones became life. They had life. They had life in them. And I want to dare you to prophesy to every dry situation in your life. I don't care how long you've been facing this dry situation. I don't care how long you've been asking God or praying for it. I want you today to prophesy over it. I want you to speak over it. Remember, your words are powerful. Our words are so powerful, and if only we realize what our tongue can do, if only we start, because sometimes we hear the scripture, life and death is in the power of your tongue, but yet still we fail to use our tongue to speak and to command. Remember, our words have authority. You have authority to command and to speak the things which are not so into existence in your life. I really hope you've been encouraged today. I hope that you have been blessed. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment for me. Let me know if this has impacted you. Let me know how you think I'm doing. I just wanted to be able to hear from you. God bless you, and thank you again for joining. I'll speak to you soon, and bye for now.